I don't have the yellow words on the bottom of my screen yet, so no, we're not.
Well, should be now. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, I was gonna say what's going on. So this week I actually did save my example. I had to read up on a few examples
Okay.
because the book didn't give me. I didn't understand a lot of it from the book, and so one of them applied to music sampling. And this is my example. I said the topic that my group was assigned to discuss was fair use. An example of this can come from music sampling. Let's say I wanted to record a song, but I wanted an excerpt or a sample of Billy Joel singing a tune from one of his songs. In this case, no matter what the sample is, I would need a license to do so in order to comply with fair use. I felt like that was pretty accurate and pretty simple. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that was a way that I understood it. So
Yeah, Michael, how much of fair use do you understand?
Let's see. Not much. I just know that there's rules that are. It's basically it has to do with using stuff and not breaking copyright for using somebody else's copy.
So, I mean, basically with copyright, it's giving, if you use somebody's product, if you use somebody's, intellectual property, trademarks, patents, trade secrets, whatever, that if you use it, you have to compensate them for it. However, if you, like, for example, music sampling, so you can display a portion of a song without having to pay the record company for playing that music, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these things are done under what they call balancing tests, right? Where basically you compare the situation to what they would determine as, what tips the legal scales of justice into, all right, now at this point you really do owe people money, or at this point you don't owe anybody anything. So, like Google doesn't have to charge people for popping up search results on a web page, right? Because they only show you like the first 20 words. So the whole rest of the material isn't subject to copyright. Also, like with news reporting, so if I give a recap of what happened at the Dodger game and I show video from the highlights, I don't have to pay money to Major League Baseball and to Fox Sports for using that video. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the balancing test for fair use, there's 4 different concepts that you have to compare it, and so long as all 4 have been all 4 it passes the balancing test, then it can be considered fair use of the product. Those 4 being the purpose and character of the use, the nature of the copyrighted work, amount and sustainability, and the effect upon the work's value. So, Brian, do you understand those at all?
The gist of them. The latter maybe not so much, but the beginning, yeah.
So with purpose and character of the use, why are you using their product?
Like educational or something like that, or
educational. If I video of my niece who is singing along to a Billy Joel song,
yeah.
Do I really have to pay Billy Joel for that because I posted the video on YouTube and Facebook? No.
No.
Why would I? I'm not out to make money on it. Now, if somebody signs my niece to a record label, Billy Joel can't come and say, "Oh, well, you use my product to leverage her status."
Okay.
That doesn't matter, right? Now, if she had if she had gone on stage at one of his concerts, used his music, his sound equipment, his setup, then yeah, at that point, you're covering. But so the character, if you're using things for strictly educational, non-commercial purposes, it doesn't matter.
You're okay.
So if you're writing a blog post about a news article you read, you don't have to pay the news company for using the news article as inspiration for your blog post.
Yeah.
Because you're not out to make money.
So in that case, then when would you have to pay the news?
Well, if I'm going to, for example, use the audio soundtrack of a Billy Joel song to use in a marketing campaign,
okay,
a TV advertisement, where my intent is to make money off of it, I would have to pay for the license, right? Okay. Because I'm trying to correlate that person's song with my product and use their interest in that song to buy my product.
Okay.
So,
that makes sense.
If I were to film, let's say like back when the Super Bowl wasn't available, broadcast on live TV, right? If you were to film the Super Bowl and then go and sell the video to bars and nightclubs and restaurants so that they could play it in the background, right, or to host parties, well, the NFL was the one that put on the product. Therefore, they're the ones that are eligible for a license.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
You have to prove that you were trying to earn a profit, right? You were trying to directly correlate what their product is with yours for financial gain.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So,
that clears things up a bit.
Do you want to handle the nature of the copyrighted work?
What was that?
Do you want to handle number 2, the nature of the copyrighted work?
Yeah, like handle it as in...
Yeah, just explain it. Make sure we all understand it.
Yeah. So it says, I'm reading this online, but it says fair use is the U.S. legal doctrine that permits limited use of copyrighted material without acquiring permission from the rights holders. Let me say the copyright part that I read earlier. Okay, nature of the copyrighted work. I'm trying to put in my own words here. It says, although the Supreme Court has ruled that the availability of copyright protection should not depend on the artistic quality or merit of the work, fair use analysis, consider certain aspects of the work to be relevant, such as whether it is fictional or non-fictional. So it says to prevent the private ownership of work that rightfully belongs in public domain, facts and ideas are not protected by copyright. Only their particular expression or fixation merits such protection. So I'm trying to see here. There's an example of the Zapruder film of the assassination of JFK. And it says, for example, was purchased and copyrighted by Time magazine, yet its copyright was not upheld in the name of the public interest when Time tried to enjoin the reproduction of stills from the film in a history book in the subject of Time Incorporated versus Bernard Geiss Associates. So what exactly is it saying in fictional or non-fictional? Would that relate in any way to that film, or?
Yeah, so if it's nonfiction content, then it's factual, right? So if, for example, when they had the Pulse shooting in Orlando, right, at a nightclub, the video feed of the news, right, that is displaying, right, the crimes that occurred in the analysis, well, the video itself showing the crime scene is fact. Anybody can use that because
Yeah.
it's not copyright, it's not protected information. So
Okay.
there's a Zapruder film in the assassination of President Kennedy. That's the video, if you've ever seen from the assassination of President Kennedy, of watching him as he's hit, goes down, falls forward. Um, that's public content. There were plenty of people that were there, viewed, and saw it. There's only one guy that has the film. Now he can choose to sell it to whoever he wants,
Yeah.
but if ABC News gets a hold of it,
He can't
they
do anything
can't.
about it.
Well, if ABC News gets a hold of it, yeah, they can't do anything about it. And if NBC gets a hold of it after ABC purchased the rights to the film,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter because it's public information, right?
Yeah.
If you went and you were the only person to watch the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight, right?
Yeah.
And you're the only person that knows whether they won or lost. So you sell to ESPN for $5 million the decision, right? Who won, who lost. Well, Fox Sports doesn't have to pay ESPN for that information. It's fact, once it's released to the public, they can report on it whenever.
All right, that makes sense.
So if you're in a situation where so if it's an idea, right? If you were to do for example, like when there's a plane crash and the plane explodes, and they go through and you'll see on the news they do an artistic rendering showing a computer simulation of what happened to the aircraft. Well, that's not fact, right?
Yeah.
That's an interpretation and a graphic creation. So
Okay.
that material itself is copyright, but reporting on that material isn't.
Like the actual footage, or that wouldn't be.
Yeah, if somebody had seen the plane explode and had that on video, that's great. But like when these planes disappear over the ocean and then they use the flight data recorder to create a
Yeah.
simulation and show that's not protected, or that itself is protected.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. I was a little confused by the fictional, not fictional, but that makes more sense now.
Yep.
All right.
So
Should we review the other two and then go on
Yep.
to the question?
let's do it.
So the next one's amount and substantiality. Amount and substantiality. Is that right?
Yep.
Hold them more like these be considered fair. So that says the less that it is used in relation to the whole, the more likely the use will be considered fair. Using most or all of the work does not bar a finding of fair use. It simply makes the third factor less favorable to the defendant. So in Sony versus Universal City. So it says here, for instance, in Sony Corp versus Universal City Studios, copying entire television programs for private viewing was upheld as fair use, at least when the copying is done for the purpose of time shifting.
Yeah. So that's when the TV show that goes on live at 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and it comes again live at 9 o'clock on the West Coast, right? You can theoretically you can download the video at 9 o'clock on the East Coast and then send it to a family member or a friend, as long as you're not making commercial gain off of it,
Okay.
to somebody else for private use. Are you guys familiar with the company VidAngel?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. VidAngel
Watch
is
it all the time.
Yeah, I'll be watching a movie on it here after this. VidAngel is a fascinating concept because this is that part of fair use that they're going through. Because in their mind,
Sued right now?
yeah, they just got announced a lawsuit about 2 weeks ago, because they don't pay for a license. They don't pay for a commercial license for the films. They only pay for a personal license. And the reasoning behind it is that is that they're only uploading the content and allowing people to edit it and modify it in any form or fashion,
Hmm.
and they don't allow you to resell it. You can't download it, right?
Yeah.
It's a streaming service.
Hmm.
So even though you purchase the film for $20 and then you sell it back for 18, right? In their mind, it's a different product than if you went and bought the film for $20 at Best Buy,
Yeah.
right? So they're getting sued right now by Disney because Disney's viewpoint is, well, now what happens is because they're not selling the DVD, they're not making $3 a license, they're making 45 cents a license.
Yeah.
Because they make the $3, but then it's sold back, and VidAngel says, oh, it was returned, therefore we only pay you the 35 cents when they still got their full fee,
Yeah.
right? So that's the amount in sustainability. Now, if you were to, record an entire song and download it and then start blasting it on the radio, right? Well, that would be trying to sell it out to the masses, and so that's not legal. But if you were to use a portion of the song, right, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, to
Yeah.
tease the audience and then tell them to go online, download them, and listen to the music, well, they don't have to pay for the license on that limited use,
Okay.
right?
Makes sense.
So as
That'd
long
be
as you're
the
modifying,
substantiality and the
yeah,
amount.
yeah, as long as you're not using the exact same product, right? You're repurposing it in some form or format,
Yeah.
and you're not making it for for commercial use, and you're prohibiting that capability, then it's fine.
So in your opinion, this is a little irrelevant. Well, what do you think is going to happen in the VidAngel case?
I think it'll be interesting. They've got precedents that would indicate that they can keep doing what they're doing,
Hmm.
because basically what happens is they're paying a lower fee than Netflix does right now for their license,
Yeah.
right? Because it's digital content and because they are editing it, so they're not paying the full demand value. My guess is what will happen is they will settle, right, and agree to pay a slightly higher cost for that
Yeah.
license use, but under the terms and conditions that they have to use the same provisions in place, right, where you can't download it, you can't burn a copy of it, it's
Yeah.
only available through their portal.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can't not have VidAngel. I love that thing. But anyways.
It's a beautiful company. I love the
Yeah.
idea. I love the product. So
Yeah, it's awesome. Alrighty. Should we move on? Let me get to the question.
yep, that works.
So, where's the effective? Effect upon work's value. So it says in the Sony versus Universal Studios example, the copyright owner, Universal, failed to provide an empirical evidence that the use of Betamax had either reduced their viewership or negatively impacted their business. So they didn't have any evidence. In evaluating the fourth factor. So it says in evaluating the fourth factor, courts often consider two kinds of harm to the potential market for the original work. First, courts consider whether the use in question acts as a direct market substitute for the original work. And then second, the court also consider whether potential market harm might exist beyond that of direct substitution. That first part made more sense. What is
So
potential market
here's
harm?
if you how do I phrase this? So if you download a song and then you're the one that starts selling the license to play that song, or you start selling physical copies of the CD to people, well, you're impacting the music company's available or potential to make a profit on it, right?
Okay.
Because you're eliminating them from the picture.
Yeah.
So you have to show that you're trying to redirect that person's business and cause them harm, right? Cause them financial loss. So that way, instead of making $50 million in revenue, they're now only going to make 45 because you're earning 5 million in revenue that they would have earned had people gone to their store.
Yeah.
Right? In that case, you need a license. But if your products aren't correlated and you using their product doesn't result in them um, losing money directly, or it's difficult to prove. So, for example, you see a lot with like, for example, toothpaste advertisements, right? Colgate and Crest, they go back and forth and they argue with each other like paper towel commercials.
Yeah.
And they don't say, oh, well, Braun is better than Bounty. They say, well, look at Braun compared to the national leading brand, right?
Mhm.
Because by not labeling it as Braun, they don't have to pay a license to use the name
Yeah.
because you're not causing them harm. Or you can't prove that, oh, we didn't mean Braun, we meant,
Well, what
just
about like if there was a Chevy commercial and they're like, we like beat Dodge and Ford and in something like, would they need a license to do that or?
well, what happens is they're doing a comparative analysis, right? So with Dodge and Ford, they've done a study and they're publishing results from a marketing research.
Okay.
It was an independent third-party market
So it's not
analysis.
more like opinion, like how paper tell's better. It's more like, hey, here are the facts. And
Yep,
that's how it is. Okay.
yep. Hey, yours gets 20 miles to the gallon. Ours gets 20 or 35.
Hmm.
You do the math, right?
Yeah.
They don't say therefore don't buy Ford. They just say so buy a Chevy.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Sweet. If you guys want, I can open up the form again, and
Let's do it.
we can make the question. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. You guys see? Whoops.
I saw some ugly dude's face just a moment ago.
I don't know who you're talking about. I see.
I was wearing like
There's
a
three
green
handsome
plaid shirt or
guys.
something.
Hold on. Let me see. Oh yeah, I'm in it. Okay. So where would it be? Cases? No. Group activity concepts. Sorry, I should have had this pulled up.
You're
Can you
good.
guys see it? All right.
Yep.
So the template.
Let me do this. I'm grabbing my power cord. I'll be just a second.
All right. No problem. How's your week going, Michael?
What's that?
How's your week going?
It's going pretty good. I
Nice.
got 2 games this week, so.
Nice. What are you doing for the 4th?
Well, my wife is in the nursing program and she's gonna be taking some big exams then, so I'm not
Nice.
sure if I'm gonna have much of any plans, to be honest.
Oh, not too bad.
But what about you?
We're gonna go in the morning. There's a parade here in Rexburg, here in town, and then I think we're gonna go to the cable factory, that little lake near town, and maybe swim around for a little bit. Maybe go paddleboarding, and then we're gonna go to the show in Idaho Falls that night. So, we're like Friday though, we're gonna dedicate to just all homework so we can have the weekend and not worry about stuff. So like today and tomorrow, we're gonna be crammed, but it'll be worth it not worrying about stuff on the 4th, you know.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Okay. Sorry, a little tired.
Did you find the fair use definition in the book, or were you just looking on online?
I had to look online, and the 4 are there online. That's where like I was reading it from. But yeah, that's where I found them.
Okay.
Was it not that detailed in the book then?
No.
I found one in the book, but no, it's not nothing like what you guys were talking about.
Yeah. See, I had to look it up. So.
What website? I'm just curious.
What was that?
I'm just curious what website you used for it.
The most reliable of them all, Wikipedia.
Nice. Okay.
Well, they're all there, so I mean,
Yeah.
all 4 of them. So it's got pretty good detail there too. So
Yeah, no, for sure.
trying to think of a kind of question we could do. Any ideas of something? Maybe because there's 4 different types. We could do like that. Those as our 4 answers, but just trying to think of a situation. Did you guys have any examples that you thought would be like maybe useful for the test question here?
So my example dealt with, and unfortunately I didn't save it before I clicked send, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm citing from memory, but that Jeff shoots a video of his dog dancing to Guns N' Roses' "Welcome to the Jungle," and publishes the video to his social media accounts. The video goes viral, resulting in an advertisement deal with Google or with YouTube, providing YouTube the opportunity to play advertisements prior to the streaming of his video.
Mm-hmm.
Is Guns N' Roses, or does Jeff need to acquire a license from Guns N' Roses for the use of that song?
Well, in that case, since it was just for entertainment purposes, I'd imagine not, but
It's
oops.
yeah, it's fair use, right?
Yeah.
He had acquired the song. He's playing it on his own private device. He's not trying to show off the song. He's trying to show off his dog dancing in a funny manner, and he's not going to be taking away revenues from Guns N' Roses, right? People aren't going to download the video instead of listen,
Yeah.
right? Instead of go purchase a Guns N' Roses single CD.
Yeah. Okay, I like that example. It's a good one. Michael, did you have one?
So in the book, the main thing that I gathered from fair use was for educational purposes. So I just used an example of, I don't have it, I also didn't prove it, but like a high schooler who uses a quote from Bill Nye the Science Guy to explain how volcanoes react in class, in environmental science class. And he's covered under fair use because the purpose of it was for educational and not for profit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all the real explanation I had for it. So.
All right. I like it.
I think that's a great one.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, all 3 of them seem like pretty clear examples. Which one are we leaning more towards for the question here?
I think we go with one of the simpler ones, which wouldn't be mine.
Do you wanna do yours, Michael?
Sure. That's fine.
All right. So you don't have it written then? Did you not save it?
No.
Okay. Well, you can repeat it, and I can try tapping it down. Bear with me.
Okay. A high school student
Oops, see what I mean? Alrighty.
is assigned a project in his environmental science class.
Alrighty.
Yeah. He chooses to use a clip from the TV show Bill Nye the Science Guy.
The NYE?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, whoops. Alright.
To explain how volcanoes
Okay.
erupt. He is covered under fair use because the clip
Okay.
is used for educational purposes.
Alrighty. Should we exclude that from the example? Would that be a little too detailed?
That's a good point. Let me think about it.
Or we could go off of that for a question. Or I guess what do we want to ask in our question?
I would say under what trademark law
Okay.
are they granted, or under what trademark law are they granted use of the material?
Okay. So under which trademark law is the student's
Use of the video protected.
student's use of the video?
Correct.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay. So let's see, we got the 4 of them. Oops. We'll do something real quick. Where's my... So that would be, we have our purpose and character of the use. I imagine that would be under that part.
Well, yeah, what you would say is that the correct answer would be fair use, right?
Okay.
Because the use of the copyrighted material is limited, and for non-commercial and for educational purposes.
Oops, didn't mean to do that. Stop. Hold on, let me see. Copy. Dang it. Sorry, guys. Okay. So the use of the copyrighted video, is that what you said?
Yep.
With the wrong answers then is that we're gonna put like
Well, nominative use.
It is a discussion sheet.
what was that? Nominative?
Nominative. Nominative.
Say that again.
Nominative. N as in Nancy. O. M as in Mary. I. N as in Nancy. A. T. I. V as in Victor. E.
Okay. Nominative. Okay. Gotcha.
Then you can use um, moral rights. And then for the last one, do related rights.
Okay.
Because related rights refers to that the material used is creative work, right? It's not connected or associated with the work's actual author,
Okay.
which is incorrect because you're using the direct cut of the video. Now, if he had recreated Bill Nye's science experiment and said what Bill Nye said for himself,
Mm-hmm.
right, that would be related rights. That would be creative work.
That one, this answer would be incorrect because the actual, like,
Because the material used was not a creative work.
if the student would have, like, remade.
Well, I would just say that the material used was not a creative work.
Okay.
Right? We don't have to explain to them what they would have had to have done. They didn't do it.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, this nominative one, I don't know what that is. Could you elaborate on that? So I could look that up.
So nominative use refers to that you can't use the product without identifying the trademark itself, right? So you can't showcase, like, for example, when you're in the movies and they have a Pepsi Cola, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't use the Pepsi logo without displaying the trademark and without paying them for the right. That's why
Okay.
you get, these fake cola names, right? Fancy Cola, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Pespi Cola, right?
Yeah. All right. So
So you just say that nominative use um, relates to the requirement of identifying the product or service with its attached trademark.
so in this case, would, like, Bill Nye have his own trademark or copyright? Well, I guess that's
He
copyright.
could, but you don't need to put that on his material and overlay the video with that.
Okay. Should I put anything more in the feedback there? Be like, the student didn't need to.
I think it's satisfactory enough.
Okay. Sounds good. Last wrong answer one would be moral rights. That one sounds more self-explanatory than the other ones, but
So basically, with moral rights, you if you can establish that, or moral rights would state that you it establishes ownership of the material, right? So even if Bill Nye were to license out his video, right, to some production company, because it's his video, he's still entitled to the ownership. So what I would say is that that moral rights is incorrect because there was no assignment of the copyright to a third party, or to the student as a third party.
Okay. Whoops. Whoopsies. Okay. Okay.
Cool.
There's no assignment of the copyright to the student as a third party.
Yep.
So fair use because the student. Whoops. He didn't need any licensing or any permission from Bill Nye to do it because he was protected under fair use.
What was that?
Like for the correct answer for fair use, should we just say that he didn't need to get any licensing or permission from Bill Nye to use it because he's protected under fair use, or?
Well, no, the fair use would be if Bill Nye was the one displaying the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is incorrect because there was no assignment of those rights to a third party. So, for example, if you are selling baseball jerseys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're professional athletes' baseball jerseys, and you license out and say, okay, Sports Chalet, you can sell my jersey. Well, that doesn't prevent the baseball team or the player from selling the jersey themselves for a profit on their own website.
Okay. All right.
I think it's good as is.
Correct use of the copyrighted video. I just want to finish up the correct answer feedback here. So the use of the copyrighted video for fair use, I didn't require.
Yep, was the use of the copyrighted video was both limited in time and used solely for educational purposes.
Okay. Educational. Cool. Well, I will save this, send it in to her, and I will post the video. Sound good?
Perfect. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks,
How
Brian.
do I get out of this? Oh.
Carefully without breaking anything.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks again for all your guys' help. And anything else we need to do? I think that's it.
I think we're good.
Cool. Well, have a good night. Enjoy your vid, Angel.
Yep. Thanks, bud. Have a good night. See you, Michael.
All right.
Yeah,
You
see
too. See
you
you guys.